I remember being different as a child. I was not like other girls. There were words for it back then. Tomboy was the word I most remember. I was always more active than most of my female friends. I climbed trees and loved riding my bike. I've never liked the words perfume and makeup. In kindergarten, my teacher brought perfume to class one day. It was a gingerbread man that had perfume on the inside. I remember the other girls very calmly agreeing to put some on. I flatly refused, and my teacher chased me and my friend Julie around the classroom to try to put it on us. She never caught us. I don't remember if she said anything to my mom about it. The school was at a church around the corner from where we were living. It was a Baptist church, and my most enduring memory of it was how scratchy the pews were on the back of my knees. I had to wear skirts that went past my knees, but when I sat on the pews, my knees rubbed the back of my knees rubbed the pews, and it was always uncomfortable. My second grade teacher was fresh out of college. We spent a lot of time combing her hair, it was short, and reading the Little House on the Prairie books. There was a lot going on at home. I learned to soothe myself in 3 ways: sucking my thumb, reading books, and eating. I usually only sucked my thumb at home, but I remember I would get stressed out at school. I was not one of my teacher's favorites. I had told her I didn't like slime. I actually had a physical reaction to it. I gagged. One time, she told me her nose was running. When I looked at her, she had the slime hanging down from her nose. I gagged at the sight of it, and she laughed. I'm realizing now, as I write this, that she was bullying me. It's no wonder that I would lay my head on my desk at school, turned away from her, and suck my thumb. Even writing about this is triggering for me. I don't know how to process this. I've been in therapy since January, dealing with a lot of trauma from my childhood. And my therapist encourages me in moments like this, when I realize that my younger self was being bullied or being hurt in some way, that I need to think about what I would say to her. And in this moment, I think what I would say to her was, it's okay. When someone bullies you, it says more about them than it does about you. It's unkind that she did that to you. It's not okay. My mom and dad were very conservative. We were not allowed to watch things like He-Man and She-Ra because it didn't mention God, and it was very secular. I remember, though, that my friends down the street had Michael Jackson's Thriller album, and I remember listening to it, realizing that I shouldn't be listening to it because, Mom and Dad said not to. But also, I don't even remember how I felt about it. But what I do remember was that I saw the video for Thriller. And my previous kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Nelson, whom I loved, died of breast cancer. And I went to the funeral, and my biggest fear was that she was going to pop up out of her casket and come back to life, like in the Thriller video. It's funny, the things that stick with you, even all these years later. Middle of second grade, we moved. I started attending a public school versus a private school. I stuck out like a sore thumb, and all I ever wanted was to feel like I fit in. But I didn't know how to do that. I was insecure. I cried a lot. I got overwhelmed easily. But again, I didn't have language to talk about what was going on at home. I didn't have language to talk about the fact that my brain was literally never stopping. I had thoughts going a mile a minute all the time. In third grade, I started talking to the school social worker because the teacher told my mom that I was very sensitive. And what I now understand is that I was feeling overwhelmed. I was having meltdowns. I was starting to show signs of ADHD and possibly autism, but that there just wasn't information about that at that time. I'm 44, and I remember the boys in school that had ADHD because they acted out a lot and they were a little bit crazy. In fourth grade, we had a kid who we all knew was a little bit out of control, and I specifically remember him being probably the most accurate representation of ADHD. School became a safe haven for me because I liked it and I was good at it, but it's also where perfectionism started to show up. When I was in fifth grade, I got an A- on my report card. An A-. For most kids, it's a good grade. I had a complete meltdown. I remember specifically sitting in the hallway, my teacher, who is the sweetest teacher, trying to comfort me, which is so ridiculous. She's comforting me over getting an A-. But in my mind, it was an A+, or it was an F, basically. When I think about my school experiences up to fifth grade, in addition to the perfectionism, it was very clear that I did not know how to navigate social situations. I just didn't understand it. It escaped me. I had girls who were friends who would fight, and then one of them would come and try try to befriend me, and I didn't understand that I should bite my tongue and not say anything to the girls, because then when they made up, they turned on me. And I just always felt like I was so different. I played soccer in 4th grade. I was the only girl on an all-boys team. And it was a great experience, but it was also different, because again, I stuck out like a sore thumb. I was not like everybody else, that Sesame Street song. One of these things is not like the other. And so these things that I thought were going to help me ended up just further causing this huge divide between me and my peers, which was just really uncomfortable to deal with. Today has been a really long day, and I've felt overwhelmed for most of the day, but I knew it was important to keep the commitment to myself of posting today. I'm still playing with the format of these videos. I'm still trying to figure out what works best, but I would love it if you could like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. I'm so appreciative for each and every one of my subscribers and for each and every one of you who even stops to watch 30 seconds of the video. I hope you all have a day tomorrow filled with love and light, and I will see you next time.